Hey guys, so I just wanted to do an update on what's happening on Monday. So pretty much going off from yesterday, we had my Sunday market breakdown of basically the pairs I'll be looking at for this week. Markets did open. There was a little bit of volatility on market open, so some pairs did gap. There wasn't really much difference, but something super exciting. So this might actually be the beginning of the sell run for the Dixie, which could be quite big for the majority of the US related pairs. Now, obviously, this is not guaranteed. It does still look like it could still potentially pull back up at the moment. But if we do, we are still looking at the game plan of, push up and a sell. But even so, this can potentially just sell off from here. And if we do get a sell off, that'll be pretty exciting. So that's just something we're looking at on the Dixie. Aussie CAD hasn't really moved much today. In my opinion, it's basically been moving very, very slowly. There is a potential that we could just sell off and not really come up here. But if that happens, I'll anticipate and wait for something bigger down here, or I'll wait for the push up and a rejection. Even so, it's been very corrective, so just going to be patient with that one. Aussie New Zealand doesn't really seem like there has been much progression, in my opinion. I think it's just really one that I'm going to be a little bit more patient with. I'm definitely just seeing what could potentially form, and I'm just going to be a bit more patient with that one, to be honest. So um, nothing really to really say, but still the same game plan. I'm going to wait for a solid push down to kind of just meet with this low and then anticipate what happened with price there. The next one I'm going to be looking at is EuroCAD. EuroCAD's actually quite nice. I was contemplating getting the long, but it's not really something that I was really planning for. I'm also looking at this sort of rejection here. So if price comes here, I'll definitely be looking for some opportunity to get down to this low if it is presented, and then take that as the long up. So the counter trend trade would be there somewhere. We could see this as basically come meet over here on this override line. So that's something I'm looking at, and also this little bit of price over here. Could we just sit in this sort of range here, and then from this range maybe push up to get enough momentum to go higher? So that's basically what I'm looking for in EuroCAD. Euro USD, it's actually a little bit like the Dixie. Well, it is the same as the Dixie, to be honest. We've had that solid push, we've broken that low, and now we're forming some smaller momentum to potentially push up higher. So just waiting in anticipation. I am looking at this larger pattern. I know a few other people have been, kind of forecasting something like this, and I think that's not entirely wrong, but it's not what I've been planning, to be honest. I am looking at that long, so there would be plenty of opportunity on the way up, but really and truly, if there's a short, that would be a nice short, but at the same time, this isn't really the cleanest of patterns as well. So, taking longs is actually beneficial, and I think at the time with the DXY potentially selling off, if the DXY sells off, it's going to be huge for pairs like gold and Euro USD. So that's something that I'm keeping an eye on. And one of the reasons why it would be big is because they correlate. So yeah. Another one where I've actually taken a position on this one is GBP AUD. I won't go too much into the position. However, looking at it on a higher time frame, it's been very, very bullish, and I would still be more on the bullish side of things, but there's nothing to say that we can't still just come down here before we go up there. And really and truly, if there's a position to be taken, why not get involved if it's something in your plan? So we've come to this sort of key area point. We bypassed that very impulsively. We started to kind of reject, but we didn't quite get there. And then we came up. So something that I really do like about this one is that we came to that override ray line over here, and we just basically rejected. Now, the reason why I've got this trend line on here is because we could potentially form something a little bit like that. And if we do form something like this, then I'll be fully aware that this is something that I'll be aware of in terms of my management. So I won't be too aggressive, but in certain areas, if certain formation of structure forms, or this gets a little bit more complex, then potentially I will be more aggressive depending on how correct the price will be. But for now, I'm just going to keep the structure as it was. And nice little structure here, and we've broken it in something that I quite like in a form of an impulse. So currently just looking at this, pushing down, creating a flag over here as well. Wouldn't be too unexpected. We are coming into high spread hours as well, so I'm being cautious of that as well. Going to be smart with my management as well, because we are high up in structure. Bearing in mind that if we do sell off, there's nowhere really says that we won't come back down here. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but this could definitely be a point that I would be keeping an eye on over here if price did sell off. So a larger flag over here meets with that high. It doesn't really matter. This is not really so significant, but it has hold some weight. So really and truly, just going to wait in anticipation and see what happens. But at the moment, just trading what we see, and we currently have this. So going off by the Falcon 90% rule, basically seeing this here, 1, 2, 3. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Not the cleanest structure, have to always cut inside it, but 1, 2, 3, came for the third touch, broke, hit the mass psychology area, came back in, took out all that liquidity, and then basically got people on the wrong side of the market. And now here we're seeing ourselves moving down. We have kind of lost a bit of momentum over here, which is not really a problem. It's a little bit expected in my opinion. We're looking for something to kind of just pull back a little bit, create a flag, create some momentum overnight over here, and then sell off. So at the moment, not really bothered. If we continue to sell, that's extremely good. We move closer away from my position. I'll probably go through this position on one of my position recap videos, which I'll post in the near future. But yeah, so that's great. The next one I've got is GBP USD. GBP USD is looking pretty nice. Same as all GBP pairs. I'm not going to go through all the GBP pairs, but they've all pretty much in some way aligned. They are all looking like there is either a short-term sell or a nice sell on the table. This is something that I have been forecasting as well, so I am looking for the GBP USD to sell off to around about here before I get into a buy. So that's something that I am looking at. But like I said, if the US dollar is selling off, we may not see that on some of the US pairs, so I'm going to be very cautious of that. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't take a GU position and I've taken GA instead. GU is definitely got potential, and we have this sort of clear section here, which I'm quite happy with, which I'll just draw out for a second. Here. So this sort of section here, and then I could essentially just take that there. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, so looking at it right now, if we can just continue and just kind of push all the way back down here, then I'm just basically going to be looking for an entry somewhere around here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at for my watch list. With my wildcards and my extra, it's not really something that I'm too concerned about right now. I mean, they are shaping up a little bit, but obviously my main focus is my watch list, and then later in the week, one of the wildcards might kind of pretty much shape up. But at the moment, just going to stay strong on my watch list, and we'll see how it goes. Cheers, thanks.